They call me Squirrel.
What's going on, Squirrel Squad? It's your boy, the Squirrel. Today I'm looking at a piece that my buddy Thomas sent over to me. This is Peter Sellers, Goons Voices, Parkinson interview, 1974. Cranking the Wayback Machine back almost 50 damn years. So this ought to be interesting and cool. It seriously really should be. We're talking 49 damn years ago. I'm almost looking forward to what Parkinson looked like that back then. You know, we just lost Parkinson recently, and it's always nice to do any piece from his show. He was quite the presenter, quite the interviewer, and a big personality himself. So let's hear Peter Sellers talk about the Goon Voices, shall we? Let's get into this and check it out. Thomas, I appreciate you sending this over, and I'm sure this is going to be something that we're all going to enjoy. Here we go, folks. It's Peter Sellers, Goon Voices, Parkinson.
Jim Spriggs, a kind of strangulated voice that Spike used, pronounced Jim. He was a hello, Jim, hello, Jim. What it was, Spike used to sort of pronounce these words in the in the key of C major. Hello, Jim, hello, 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 hello. Little Jim, a high-pitched child played by Spike who lives in Eccles Boot, is thought to be his nephew. He points out when people, he used to say, "He's falling in the water." When Spike and Eccles and Bluebottle used to have a scene, I get that, "What did he say, little Jim?" Spike. And he said, "He's falling in the water."
It's really cool to hear him do this and talk about it, because not only is he emulating the voices that like Spike did and things like that, but you got to think about how important these voices were. They came across right. Like, he even knew the note that the first voice was done in, and that was so important because we have to remember. Let's think back. You know, this is a radio show we're talking, so these voices were so much more important because you didn't have the physical comedy to go along with it. Pretty cool.
A Swede, a very rustic voice based on a character who Peter met in Sussex with Home producer Peter Eaton. I remember that. Oh, big right nose. Peter Eaton said he was talking in a field with one of these fellows, and he don't voice and a whacking great bowing went across and drowned out everything they said, you see. And after it had gone away and all sound had gone, this fella says, "I don't like all that bloody tackle up there." Now, he'd reduced years of research and everything into one word. Oh, I don't like that tackle, no. Geraldo, well, we all remember dear old Geraldo. That was the sort of voice where he'd, "Hello again, we're on the radio again." Based on the late Bandley's voice, yes. Flower Dew, a camp voice used by Peter and Spike. This is based on a couple of puffs we knew at the time. I was sorry, beg pardon, I'm sorry.
Called Flower and Dew.
Flower and Dew.
Mm-hmm.
Who'd gone to church for the first, one had gone to church for the first time. I said, "You must come to church." He said, "Oh, I can't." Oh, he said, "Oh, yes, I must, you know." He said, "Okay, no." And we come to the full ceremony, you know. So we go in there, he said, "Well, I don't know what to do." He said, "Don't worry about it, you know." He said, "I know the whole thing, you know." They said, and the priest came in with a, incense, and he was waving around, all the smoke was coming out. He said, and they were walking down the aisle, the priest was walking down the aisle with the choir boys, and this other one, who didn't know much about it, rushed up to the priest, grabbed his arm, and he said, "I say, do you realize your handbag's on fire?"
Oh my goodness. I gotta be honest with you, I was raised in a Catholic church, and they do the swinging incense, and it looks like a wand. It kind of looks like a microphone, and it's full of holy water, and they do this, and it sprays the holy water around. I don't. I'm in a different church. I'm just a regular congregational church nowadays. They don't do all the flim flam and fair, but I know what he's talking about.
Thank you, Jim. Ah, yes. I should be banned from everything soon. Banned from the East Finchley Boy Scouts Club. Terrible. Singe's lalkaka. Singe's thing. Singe's thing. That's what I like. Singe's thing. Oh! Two Hindus played by Peter and Spike. Well, now, Spike was born in India, as you know, and I spent about 3 years out there, so we started to bring this sound back. Now, a lot of people came back from India at that time and suddenly knew the sound very well, but couldn't, they hadn't heard anybody. What I want to know, sir, no, please, but it's so that was that. Well, they became incredibly popular, those two. Fred Bogg, it said, a Cockney idiot played by Harry. Now, I can't remember Harry doing this. Harry used to do quite a few voices. I can't remember the Fred Bogg voice. I can't remember that one. Cyril, a friend of Spike and Peter. Cyril Waterman was a chap who used to live in these flats, you know? And Cyril was the sort of fellow who had to do something before you had done it. Now, if we'd been to the Palladium to see a top of the bill and we saw, say, he said, we saw Sid Nerge last week, Cyril. He said, I've seen him. So I said, he's only open last night. He said, oh, no, I've seen him. He went to the south of France. I'll tell you a terrible thing. He went to the south of France, and he said, who do you think I saw in the south of France? So I said, I don't know. He said, Don Andrews. And then he said, he's a confirmed alcoholic. I mean, I'm sure he never met Down. I don't know how he knew. Probably Down Andrews never had a drink in his life.
I'm sure not.
That was in thing to know about. Yeah. Cyril. I've seen him. I wonder if he's listening to that. It's funny. Listening. What am I talking? It's radio. It's television. Hearn salesman. Ernest Hearn, a solemn, humorless American announcer, voice used by me. Yes, I used to do that. I used to say, well, on the harp, we used to use the sounds, American sounds. We didn't use words. This is the American bar of the Hearn part of the lane, on the Hearn, and Hearn part of the Hearn. And here, African chief used or based on Big Chief Ray Ellington, bim bum bala boo. He was always chasing Bloodknock for, very sort of naughty reasons, He said, don't come in, Ellinger. Don't come in. Me won't come in, make you prisoner, Bloodknock. Come inside, me come in. And then as soon as he got in, Bloodknock would rush out the door and nail it up. Oh dear, a quavering duchessy voice used by Peter. Oh, I used to use a duchessy voice. I've always done that one. Oh, my dad. I know, dirty stuff, I can't tell. But, it was so terribly like that. They all live in Neaton Square or Belgrade Square. And they were so terribly like that. Terribly. Used to do a lot of it.
Well, that was abrupt ending to Peter Sellers' Goon Voices on Parkinson interview in 1974. It was kind of neat to listen to him go through those. I mentioned in the middle there how important voices were because it was a radio show. So it's important that they really changed the characters and gave the characters a larger-than-life sound and voice so that you could build a larger-than-life picture as to what these folks looked like. So, kind of cool. I mean, obviously, these guys were crazy good. But on top of that, they thought of these little things to make sure they were improving the show and making it even better by really studying and becoming these character voices. So that's really cool to see. Two legends there on the screen, right? Peter Sellers and Michael Parkinson. That was really nice. I enjoyed that. So I appreciate you sending it over, Thomas. You're awesome, man. Thank you so much. That was really cool, man. You guys, I hope you enjoyed it as well. And we'll do a little more Parky as we go on. I'll keep poking in and out. I got some bigger things planned for down the road. I got a couple of audience with pieces I want to do. And I definitely have some longer Parky interviews as well. So stay tuned and keep your eye out for those. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you spending a little bit of time with your old pal Squirrel. Don't forget that I do have a Patreon page if you feel like you'd like to sign up over there. We got a Discord server. All my socials are in the thing below. I'm also available on Cameo, and I will tell anybody anything you want me to tell them. I don't care what it is. I'll do it. I will catch you all soon. Be good, all right? Take care. Squirrel out.